Hey everybody, it's Maddie over at Lichtenfeld Nurseries. Today we're in the garden and I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about how to increase your bird population in your own backyard. The first thing I like to think about is building from the ground up. So two things a lot of people don't really consider when they're trying to attract more birds is that pine straw and mushroom compost are really key. The mushroom compost that we sell here is $5.99 a bag. It's super easy to grab. You can just disperse that in your plantings, use it when you're doing new garden beds, or use it to fertilize around the yard. This is gonna do a lot of things for your soil. It's gonna fertilize your plants, create healthy soil, and really when it comes to the birds, it's going to attract and create a larger population of earthworms for you. And this is great when attracting ground-feeding birds, such as robins. The pine straw, which we sell for $4.99 a bale, it's a great all-natural product. You can use it in your garden beds instead of mulch, or maybe do a mixture of mulch and pine straw like we do here in the garden. This is also going to serve as a really great nesting material for birds such as wrens and bluebirds. Both are really pretty, both have beautiful bird songs you can enjoy in your own backyard. So now that we've got the ground floor covered, let's move up to some perennials that you can incorporate. What I've got here are a couple of varieties of summer blooming perennials. Things that are going to produce seed cones are really what you want to look for. So I've got some Rudbeckia, the black-eyed Susan, coneflower, of course, we've got several colors of those, and Shasta daisies are all going to be really great. So flowering perennials are actually going to serve two different purposes in two different seasons. Their bloom time is going to attract pollinators and insects that birds who are raising young will seek out for protein. And then when this bloom actually fades and dries, you're left with the seed cones, and that's what birds like finches particularly love to munch on those. So if you do have some Rudbeckias, try not to cut those back. Let them dry and let the birds just take care of it for you, and let them just kind of eat all those seeds until they're gone, and then you can go give them a good pruning. So next up, moving into the berry category, blueberries, of course, are going to be a really accessible, easy berry producing plant that birds are going to go crazy for. Now, if you're worried about sharing, just plant an extra plant, or maybe throw some bird netting over your section that you don't want them to mess with. But I guarantee you, if you plant some blueberries in your yard, you're going to have a variety of songbirds coming to get berries, and that is really going to be crucial for them in those summer months. Blueberries are also great because they do have a winter color. They like to hold on to some leaves, and they change to these beautiful shades of orange and red. And then you're going to have some beautiful little spring flowers, and then the berries all summer long. Just make sure when you are picking blueberries, you get two varieties that are going to flower at the same time. That way you're ensuring cross-pollination, and you're going to get a really high yield of berries. So the next shrub I want to talk to you guys a little bit about is one of my favorite evergreens. It's Mahonia, and there are a couple different varieties of Mahonia. These two I've got right here. There's Marvel, and this one is a Soft Caress. They just have really beautiful, unique foliage that they hold all year long, so they're a great plant to incorporate into your landscape. They get about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, so they're not super large or cumbersome. And again, they're going to serve double duty because they're going to produce these beautiful, bright yellow flowers in the wintertime that will attract the insects for birds to prey on. And again, once those flowers have faded, you're left with these beautiful berries that are going to form. And these will go to about almost like dark grape color. They're kind of like a frosty grape berry. And birds go nuts for them. And that is going to be so double duty. You're feeding the birds, and you're also giving them a little protection for smaller birds that they want to hop in and hide. They've got space to do that. They've got somewhere to run. So you're giving them some coverage, you're giving them some food. So next berry we're going to talk about here is my elderberry. I lost it. So you can see it with all of my plants here. I've got a golden tower elderberry. This one's going to be chartreuse leaves, and it will flower in the summer and be covered in berries through the fall. This one is just starting to push out some leaves here. But those berries, we already know they're great for us, and the birds know that too, and they are definitely going to flock to your elderberry. We do also sometimes carry native varieties. If you can get native, that's even better. So, and the next shrub I want to introduce you guys to is our Korean Spice Viburnum. These two right here, Spice Baby and Spice Girl are their names. Spice Girl is going to bloom pink flowers. Spice Baby will bloom in white flowers. Flowers, we already know, are great to attract birds. These also will have some nice branching and some nice full leaves that are going to give them some protection and shelter. And also, if you plant both of these in your yard, you're going to get berries on your plants too. So that's just offering another incentive for birds to come into your backyard. And the next thing on our list of berries, hollies. So right here I've got a little dwarf Burford holly and a needlepoint holly. They do have beautiful evergreen leaves that are going to offer some shelter. Also they're going to keep predators away. So if a bird wants to make a nest in there, they are protected all year round, which is great. We definitely need to have some evergreens incorporated to offer year-round shelter. These also are going to be very heavy berry producers. As you can see here, this thing is loaded up with red berries. Got some on this guy too. They're just beautiful. This one looks like it's already been munched on by some birds. But both of these are going to be great evergreen options. And Burford in particular is not going to get outrageously large. It's going to be around 5 to 6 feet tall. So very manageable for a backyard setting. You can definitely incorporate one of those into a nice sunny spot. So another very heavy berry producing shrub I want to tell you guys a little bit about is our beauty berry. This one is called Pearl Glam. It's not much to see right now. It is deciduous, and all the berries have been long gone, but they do produce an enormous amount of purple, violet, fuchsia colored purple berries. So those are going to flower out, and then late in the fall, they're going to be filled with berries. And I can definitely attest to the birds loving these things. We did have a display of these at checkout this past fall when it was filled with berries, and every single morning you could catch several mockingbirds swooping in, perching, and just feasting on those purple berries. So that's another very beautiful shrub you can incorporate. I like to put them kind of like in a corner, in a nice sunny corner, where you're able to appreciate the color from your patio or your window, and you can also watch all the birds. So the last thing on our list of berries, winterberry hollies. Winterberry hollies are a deciduous holly. They're known for their bright red berries in the wintertime that cover the bare limbs of the tree. Just keep in mind, if you do want to plant winterberry, you do have to have a male and a female variety. Right now, we've got some winterberry winter gold, which will have golden berries on it, and that's the female. We also have a male variety called the Southern Gentleman, which will cross-pollinate with that female, and they will be covered in berries. You can have up to 5 female winterberries with just 1 male winterberry in your yard. And just make sure when you do plant that, it has to be within about 50 feet of the other so that they can actually cross-pollinate. So next thing I want to talk to you guys about when it comes to attracting birds to your landscape from the ground up, we're going to move into some trees. One of my favorite trees for attracting birds into your lawn is the dogwood. What I have right here is a Cherokee Brave dogwood. This one is going to bloom out in the spring before the leaves emerge. So all of these little buds getting ready to pop, that's what I'm talking about right there. And those are going to attract all kinds of pollinators and insects, and it's kind of like a built-in hunting ground for birds because they like to perch on the little branches, and they'll just wait around and they'll swoop down and get any kind of insects that come around the tree for those flowers. So it gets the spring bloom, which we love. Then it's going to have leaves in the fall, providing some shelter and shade. Birds could even nest in there. And then again in the fall, it's going to produce these bright red little berries. And berries and birds just go hand in hand. So you're going to have 3 seasons of interest for your birds. And a couple other trees I just want to mention because they are so great for your backyard birds. We don't have any out here right now just because they're so large, but I did want to touch on it really quickly. Any of our red maples, particularly October Glory, that's just my favorite. You can choose from any of the red maples. That one is going to be a nice canopy. It gets about 20 to 30 feet tall, and then it's going to be about 15 to 20 feet wide. So lots of branching area, lots of shade and coverage. It's also going to have a beautiful display of color in the fall. But the main reason why birds like to go to these trees is for the insects that they attract. So if you've ever had tent worms or caterpillars in your trees that you don't want there, maybe put a bird feeder in that tree and see what happens, because the birds will go for those things. They know they're there and they love to munch on those. They're great protein, and again, like we talked about, especially during their nesting months when they're raising their young, they're particularly going to enjoy that. One more tree I want to just mention is the serviceberry. Serviceberry is going to be actually a flowering tree, so you'll go through the same kind of flowering period. Then after the flowers and the leaves, you're going to have these little beautiful berries. A lot of people do like to eat them themselves, but the birds in particularly do love them. And I like to think of serviceberry as being like a full service tree for the birds, because it does offer a lot of protection. It offers a lot of food and everything that they need, really, just to get nesting and raise their young. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's been a really fun time to be able to share some of my favorite bird attracting plants with you today in the garden. I'm here basically all the time, so come see me anytime at the nursery. I'd love to show you around and give you a few ideas for your own garden when it comes to attracting birds and boosting your population at home. Check us out on our Instagram, give us a like here on this video, maybe share it with your mom, and we'll keep you posted. Can't wait to see you guys soon.